Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm going to get my screen set up here. All right. So, quick hot take, condos are moving again in Lee County, but the price cuts are basically doing the work. I mean, it's not optimism. If you are shopping this year, this is where the leverage is. So, let's get into it. Happy Saturday. This is your Saturday morning market live. I'm going to keep this tight. We're going to cover Lee County, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Estero, and I'm breaking it into two worlds, single family versus condos, because right now they're behaving like two completely different markets. And I'll show you three condo deals from this past week's newsletter. And I mean, these deals are just hiding in plain sight. So let's start at 30,000 feet with Lee County. So Lee County sales are up, inventory is down. That's really not what people expect. Here's the stat that messes with the narrative. December sales rose while inventory fell. Lee County single family homes, right? The active inventory 7,880. That's down 4.6% from November and down 6.6% year over year. Closed sales just over 1,000. It was like 1,100 closed sales in Lee County. That's up 11.5% month over month and up 10.6% year over year. The median price is $380,000. That's up 1.3% from November, but it's still down 4.9, almost 5% from last year. So, another hot take on that, this is not a crash. Those numbers don't indicate a crash. That is a market that is clearing, it's correcting. Buyers are buying, sellers are adjusting, and then things that are overpriced or just how do I say this nicely? The things that have not been marketed well or not cleaned up, need a lot of work or whatever, those things are sitting. So, um, you got to watch what happens when we flip to condos, right? Um, so if you want negotiating power in Southwest Florida right now, condos are the way to go. It's still condos. Lee County condos, the inventory is 3,900, just over 3,900. That's down 2.2% from November. Closed sales, we had 389 closed sales in December. That's up 37% month over month. So compared to November of 2025, and it's up 18.6% year over year. The median price right now, or for December, $285,000. That's up 5.1% from November, but that's down 8% year over year. So here's the story: more closings plus lower prices year over year equals sellers are finally meeting the market and buyers are responding. And Cape Coral is the clearest example of that split. So let's talk about Cape Coral a little bit. I've got a condo here in Cape Coral that we're going to look at. This is 5214 Chiquita Boulevard, 202B. And let's see. This is a new system, by the way. I got a new website. It's not quite up yet. I'll show you real quick. Coming soon. You still can look at properties. But you have to kind of do a little bit of a workaround. So anyway, Website's coming. Obviously, we got to get the branding corrected. But this is a new system, as you will see. But yeah, this listing is courtesy of John R. Wood Properties. I needed to make sure to get that out of the way. 5214 Chiquita Boulevard South. This is unit 202B in Cape Coral. So, Cape Coral single family is kind of boring right now, and boring is good. Cape Coral single family inventory, 2,400, excuse me, yeah, 2,400, something like that, 2,400 units available. That's down 6% from November of 2025, and it's down 22.5% from last year. So closed sales, we had 376 closed units for December of 2025. That's up 6.2% month over month and up 5.6% year over year. And median price is 377,950. So it's basically flat, down 1.8% from November and down 1.4% from last year. So this is what stability looks like. Prices aren't exploding, but they're not folding either. So good listings are still getting attention. Now, Cape Coral condos are where the price story lives. So, Cape Coral condo sellers, the market has changed and the numbers prove it. So, just Cape Coral condos, inventory 375 units. That's down 5.5% from November and down 13% year over year. Closed sales, we had 43 closed units. That's up 38.7% month over month. So 38.7% from November of 2025. And it's up 30.3% year over year. So that's relatively significant. Median price 223,000. That's down 9% from November and down 12.2% from last year. So condos are moving more, but the median price is down hard. That's the trade. Movement comes with discounts. And then, of course, we've got a perfect example here. This is Cape Coral's kind of best deal condo. And again, this was highlighted in my weekly newsletter. So if you're receiving the newsletter, you have already seen these deals. The newsletter comes out every Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. And in that newsletter, I really try to focus on deals, frankly. Investor deals, single family house deals, single family houses over 600,000 deals, condo deals, right? So if you're not subscribed to that newsletter, please let me know. Feel free to send a message to me. You can send me like a private message, or you can send me a message, or excuse me, put a reply here in the chat. I'm going to try to open this up in its own dedicated. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. So this is what I mean by hiding in plain sight. Okay, that was kind of the theme in the newsletter. It looks normal, but it's priced like it's not. Okay, so Harbor Walk, that's this particular development, 213,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, just over 1,000 square foot. Built in 2023. See that here. It's about $209 per square foot with a $424 a month fee. So when I say deal, I'm comparing the price per square foot to what's selling and what's listed. So this one sits under the typical benchmarks in that segment, and it's in a so Southwest Cape is the most desirable area of Cape Coral. And This is in a Southwest Cape pocket near Cape Harbor, where buyers typically pay up, right? So most cheap condos are cheap for a reason. This one is interesting because it reads like normal livable product priced under the pack. If you want the link, just comment here Cape, C-A-P-E, and I'll send it to you. So built in 2003. I just want to show you some of the photos real quick. We'll kind of go through and click through. So here's the exterior. It's got a pool, community pool, nice screened-in balcony. It's got a nice open living room and kitchen space, tile flooring, updated fixtures. We've got some, looks like updated pendant lights, updated fans maybe. Flooring, I can look back through and find out. It could be genuine hardwood. More than likely, it's a like a laminate, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me. Send me a message if you want me to figure out what it is exactly. I'm going to guess that it's a laminate, but anyway. Granite countertops. So look, I mean, this thing isn't this is a very like move-in ready, livable condo. It's in a great area. I mean, look at the all of the water. You're close to the water. This is like the mouth of the Caloosahatchee right here, I would assume. I shouldn't say I would assume. Pretty sure that's what it is. Let's see. So this condo sits here. This is Chiquita Boulevard. So yeah, I guess you're more so looking out into Matlacha Pass. But yeah, here's the mouth of the Caloosahatchee. So your view is over here, looking out at Pine Island. I think it's a good buy. 213. It's priced well. It's in good shape. Built in 2003. Can't go wrong there. Okay, let's move on to Fort Myers. And I do have a good Fort Myers deal here. This is everything that I show here is in my service area for the most part, right? So I might show something that's outside of my service area once in a while, but for the most part, I'm going to keep everything within my service area because that's my area of expertise. I don't want to go too far outside of my sort of area of expertise, but I can help anyone purchase anything in Southwest Florida, in any area of Southwest Florida, Lehigh Acres, Babcock Ranch, out on the islands, Sanibel, Pine Island, even all the way down to like Naples. I would certainly help someone if they really requested that I help them. But for the most part, if it's outside of my service area, I would recommend someone to a colleague. Okay, so Fort Myers. Let's talk a little bit about Fort Myers single family. So the median sales price jumped, and people are going to, I think, misinterpret that. So inventory was 1,500. That's down 5.5% from November, and it's down 9.7% year over year. Closed sales were at 251, which was up 14.1% month over month and up 22.4% year over year. So median price 460,000. That's up 13.6% from November, but still down 4.2% year over year. So month to month medians can swing based on what's sold. The bigger story is year over year. Fort Myers has stopped bleeding and is normalizing. We can see that in the numbers. So now let's shift over to condos, and this is where buyers can definitely negotiate. So condo market reality, there's more or excuse me, just because there are more closings doesn't mean that we're going to see higher prices. So condo inventory was 1,700, just over 1,700. It was like 1,705, which is down 3.3% from November and down 8.7% year over year. Closed sales was 172. So that's 172 closed units, which was up 27.4% month over month. And median price for December of 2025, $244,250. That's up 6.7% from November, but it's down 12.8% from last year. So this is a buyer's market that's waking up. It's not a boom. It's a it's a clearance aisle with real buyers in it. So the best example is the Fort Myers deal from this week's newsletter. So we're going to take a look at that this week's deal. That's 6100 Jonathan's Bay Circle, Unit 302. And let's open it up here. This listing is offered by Remax Realty Team. This is again, a condo. Look, this one looks like a typo. That's why it's a clip. I mean, it's Jonathan's Bay, $250,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just over 2,000 square foot, built in 2007. And that's roughly $121 per square foot, which is about a third below the typical sold and active price per square foot benchmarks. If you look at condos like built 1990 or newer, that segment, gated communities with amenities, kind of lock and leave thing that buyers consistently pay for. If someone wants space and value and doesn't need perfection day one, this kind of pricing usually doesn't sit forever. So if you comment Fort Myers in the chat or send me a DM, I will send you the link to this listing. Okay, so like I said, built 2007. Let's kind of go through the photos here. Obviously, very like kind of carriage style. Has a good look from the front. The unit appears to be in pretty good condition. Probably could be moved into. There may, like I said, there's nothing that has to be done day one. If someone wanted to come in and make some upgrades, understandable. Maybe somebody wants to come in and swap out the flooring, switch out, change out the carpet, or put in something other than carpet. I think that the price justifies some of those upgrades. So you've got a nice kind of green space view off of the screened patio. I can't see what's back there. But nice green space view. You've got the water in the center of the community. You've got a community pool there that you can see. Nice resort style community pool with a pool house. You've got the spa or jacuzzi, whatever you want to call it, a little tiki hut there. So you got some solid amenities. Okay, so it looks like there's some kind of commercial building here, and the unit is here. So you look out over this green space, and then there's also a commercial building. So that's something to take into consideration. But for the price, I mean, like I said, yeah, okay, here you go. There you can see that commercial building. Yeah, so anyway, for the price, I think it's well worth it. It's got a good amount of space. All in all, still, like I said, good buy. Best deal in Fort Myers condo wise. I wanted to see, yeah, new roof in 2024, newer AC system. So it's got some upgrades. All right, let's move on to Estero. So Estero, we're gonna start with single family homes and move to condos, and I've got a good condo deal, just like we did for Cape Coral and Fort Myers. But Estero is always premium, but premium buyers are still disciplined buyers. So in Estero, inventory for December 2025, 372 units. That's down 1.8% compared to November of 2025, but it's up 3% year over year. We had 62 closed units, which is up about 7% from November, but down almost 5% from last year. And the median price, $645,000. That's up 4.5% compared to November of 2025, but it's down about a little over 5% year over year. So Estero isn't weak, it's selective. The good stuff sells, the wish price stuff kind of gets ignored like everything else. Now, here's the shocker. Estero condos. This is the loudest stat of the month. Estero condo sales exploded. Inventory Estero Condos inventory, December 2025, 354 units. That's down 5.3% from November. It's up 13.1% year over year. But the closed sales, 64 units, that's up 137%. It's pretty significant, right? So the number of closed sales has increased significantly. Median sales price 412,500. That's up 13% from November and basically flat year over year. So that's what a market looks like when buyers decide, okay, these prices finally make sense again. Let's move. And the best example is in Copper Oaks. Ooh, let me exit out of this. So let's go into Copper Oaks development. 10 Maple Drive. And this listing is courtesy of Epic Realty Incorporated. So in Estero, a pricing gap like this usually has a catch, and that's why you check it. So Copper Oaks, $305,000 for this one. It's you can see they're pretty unique style. This one's 1760 on the square footage, and yeah, garage gated, block, tile roof. It's about $173 a square foot, and it's dramatically under both the sold and active benchmarks in that segment we talked about in 1990 and newer condos. And I typically try to stay within that segment because once you get older than that, I mean, there's a lot of great condos that are available that are older than that, especially like in Cape Coral. But typically, I like to kind of stay, a little bit newer. I don't want to include, 1970s condos in all of this because you can have a 1970s condo that has been remodeled and it's in great shape, but I don't know. It's just kind of hard to compare those. And when you've got multiple units in a development that was built in the 70s. You might have one condo that's been redone and it's beautiful and it's nice, but every other one might not be the same way, right? So that's important to me. So anyway, we're staying in that kind of 1990 and newer segment. And plus, this one is in that FGCU Gulf Coast Town Center, Coconut Point, RSW pocket that kind of keeps the rental demand steady. So this is what it looks like when you can buy Estero convenience without paying the Estero premium, right? And if you want, you can either send the word Estero in the chat or you can DM me Estero and I'll send you the link to this property. But yeah, it's got some good amenities, community pool, basketball, basketball court, which looks like it's also a tennis court. We've got some upgrades. That is virtually staged. Just be aware of that. So we can see kitchen, darker wood cabinets, dark appliances, dark granite countertops. It is granite countertops. That's always nice. So we've got some water features and some green space to be expected. Tray ceiling. Um, yeah. So again, just like with the condo we talked about in Fort Myers, this one is this one's move-in ready. You could move into this condo. As far as I can tell, of course, if you bought it, you would have a home inspection done and all that. But it appears as though it could be moved into. Maybe some updates would be made later on after you moved in. But in this price range, if you're looking in Estero, to pick something up like this for just over 300,000, you're going to have a little bit of money to be able to go in and make some updates. This is built in 2007, so it's not too old. Yeah, it's a good one. So, all right. So if you were buying in 2026, let's talk a little bit about planning, right? Kind of a buyer game plan. If you're buying in 2026, here's the move. If I'm a buyer right now, I'm doing one thing differently than 2021, 2022. So I'm not falling in love with the list price. I'm falling in love with the leverage. In condos, leverage comes from price drops, high competition, and seller fatigue. In single family, leverage comes from finding the listings that are good but not sexy. Solid condition, realistic price, normal location. So here's the condo checklist that separates deals from disasters. Condo deals can be real or they can be fake savings. Before you get excited about a condo price, HOA financials, reserves, insurance situation, rental rules, special assessments, and whether the fee is covering what you think it's covering. A cheap condo with ugly reserves is not cheap, it's just a delayed cost. So if you want my exact condo doc checklist, just comment checklist. You can send that in the chat. You can DM me, and I'll send that to you. So I want to talk to sellers also. Sellers, the market will pay you, but only for reality. So if you're priced like it's 2022, your house, your property, whatever it is, house, condo, it's going to sit. If you're priced like today's buyer has options, you'll get showings and offers. The market isn't emotional right now, it's mathematic. Everyone has Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin on their phones. So if you think that the pool of buyers who are in your price range looking for whatever it is you're offering, if you think that those people, it would not be ideal. I'm trying to be nice with my wording. It would be foolish. It would be foolish to think that these people are not totally aware of all the competition and where the competition is priced. And as soon as they see your property hit the market, if it's overpriced, they know immediately. So if you don't price it right from the beginning, everyone is aware of the market and the competition. Um, so it's something to be aware of. A quick note on rates, because rates do matter. Rates don't have to be low to move the market. They just have to stop being unpredictable, right? So in the newsletter, I noted that the 30-year fixed was around 6.2%. That's even actually down just in the last couple days. But that's down from earlier 2025 averages. It's enough to bring some buyers back, but it also keeps people picky. So you get this weird combo, like more closings, but buyers still negotiating hard. So let's close out the video with what I think happens next. So here's my prediction. 2026 is a pick your spot market, not a headline market. So single family homes are they are stabilizing. Condos are where the discounts are still easiest to capture. If you tell me your budget and city, I'll tell you what segment is actually moving right now. But yeah, so send me a message, DM me. You can drop something in the chat here. I'll send you the best deals list from this week. And if you'd like to be added onto the newsletter, same thing, just let me know and I'll get you added to that Wednesday morning newsletter. So hope to hear from you. Thank you for joining, and I will see you next Saturday.